Hey folks, another quick video here as I try to get this young channel going, and I thank you for the people that have watched the videos thus far and commented and subscribed. Appreciate it. I'm patient, I know it takes a while. I'll just keep trying to put interesting things up here and see where it takes me. So today I kind of wanted to talk about your massive offering of gear and guitar instrument reviews on YouTube. Like all of you, or most of you, I appreciate all the folks who take their time to review gear on YouTube, especially gear that I can't get my hands on, and give a good overview, a good explication. And some of them are very thorough. I was just watching a review by the Got a Ukulele guy who does strictly ukuleles, and he's extremely thorough. Goes through, all the parameters of each instrument he looks at, and really knows his stuff. And there are a few of them that are a joy to watch. I've watched most of the videos by Rob Chapman and the guys from Andertons. They review a lot of stuff. The Know Your Gear guy, Philip McKnight, I think his name is, Tone King, lots of others, too many to mention. And I think the one thing that these serial reviewers tend to forget about, and it's easy to do, they sort of become, because they're so connected to the industry, and they have all manner of paths to gear. When you work in the industry, things open up for you. You can get stuff at wholesale rates, you can get stuff at employee discounts, you just get to know people and you score deals. Some of these folks are getting sent instruments to review. I don't know if they review them and send them back, or if they are able to keep them. But I do know from my years of working in retail, wholesale, working for a couple of guitar manufacturers, an international distribution company, that you just get connected and you get your hands on gear, and you become a gear fetishist, and you sort of lose touch with the person on the street or the common person, and what their needs and budget really is. I'll give you an example. I recently watched a review or a review YouTuber that was doing one of these buy a guitar and amp on a budget videos, and I think the budget they assigned for themselves was $1,000, $500 each for the guitar and amp, and I think that's well above most people or the average person's budget. I would love to buy boutique guitars. I'd love to go online right now and order a beautiful handmade guitar from Crimson Guitars in England, or Gelvin Guitars, or any of the boutique guitar makers or handcrafted guitar makers. I'd love to do that. But like most people, I don't have a couple of thousand lying around to spend on one thing. I would even struggle, as would most of you, to buy a $600 Chapman guitar, or a $500 Schecter, or substitute whatever brand you want in there. There's an increasing number of players that are getting enough guitar knowledge, and that's sort of what this channel is aimed at. Getting enough guitar knowledge to be able to mod, upgrade, buy cheaper instruments with a good working body, model, parts, and just substitute things to make them better. Usually electronics, or maybe bridge components, graphite nut, things like that. And they take a guitar that costs a lot less, and they turn it into a higher quality guitar because they have the know-how to do that. That's becoming an increasing market, I find. I get a lot of people contacting me maybe for something that I thought was a budget instrument that some beginner would buy, and it's an experienced player that's looking to upgrade, looking for something with a reasonable foundation to upgrade and make a much better guitar. And then of course you have your beginners, people looking for their first guitar or perhaps their first electric guitar. And the budget in most cases for those people is $100. You know, they have $100 to spend. They can either go to, you know, one of the supermarket chains and buy an awful plywood guitar that doesn't play, that's set up poorly, with awful parts that they're not liable to continue playing because they just don't perform. Or they can go on Craigslist or some other used avenue and try to get a bit more value for their money with a used or you know, a guitar that's not being sold at street price or for new price. Case in point, this Dean 12 string that I just picked up. You know, you can spend hundreds on a 12 string. I struggle to find good 12 strings. Usually the cheaper ones have issues. They have problems either in the neck joining, the body buckling. The extra tension on the body causes issues with the block, or perhaps with the neck. And you know, I find a lot of 12-string guitars that I end up, you know, fixing as well as I can, then moving on, because they're just not up to a standard that I want to in order to keep them. So you know, I run across something like this, which is made by not a high-end company. It's made by Dean. They also make Luna guitars. I think Daisy Rock. It comes from the same folks, and it's not, you know, a Martin or a Taylor or anything like that. It's not even a Blue Ridge or a Breedlove. You know, it's definitely sort of mid-range, beginner to mid-range guitar, but with a bit of work, a bit of setup, some nice strings. You know, I found a 12-string that has sort of that deep body tone that you don't get with a lot of 12-string guitars, and that's because it's a nice satin finished wood guitar, and it has, you know, reasonable parts on it, and I can make it much better. So that's the sort of thing I look for, and I'm finding that a lot of people are on the same boat. They try to find something that's in the 100, 200 range, and then they try to improve it to where it plays like a $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 guitar. And I think a lot of the reviewers lose track of that. You know, because they're well connected, they get all sorts of gear, and you know, they can eulogize about that gear and how great it is and how everybody should buy it. And I think sometimes when you're so immersed in the musical instrument business, you sort of lose touch with the person on the street that's not connected, that doesn't have the inroads to buy things at wholesale value, that doesn't have employee discounts, and what's available to them. And I watch a lot of great reviews about gear I'll never own. It's too much. It's out of my league. It's out of my budget. You know, most of us are working class. We have other needs, and we have, you know, we only have a limited amount of money that we can spend on a new guitar or a new ukulele or a new violin or something like that. And you know, I think sometimes these serial reviewers, these folks who are always posting stuff online, they just get access to stuff, and they're enthused about it, but I don't think they really realize that 90% of the people that they're speaking to are never going to be able to afford that. This is often the case in the world of amplifiers. I found a used 60-watt Fishman amp for $60 in a flea market, and I play my electric cello and all of my electric acoustics through it, and it's brilliant. It's a fantastic amp. It has sort of the Roland JC120 chorus built into it, and it's got a superb clean sounding delivery. And you know, so I'm not going to go out and buy a $500, $600, $700 amp that does the same thing. And you know, if I want an amp to play electric guitar, to play all kinds of, you know, distorted flange sort of sounds, you know, I'd probably look in the budget end of things and find a Black Star or you know, one of the cheaper Vox amps, or a used Gallon-Kruger or Crate or something. I'm not going to just go out and fork out, you know, $500, $600, $700 for a top of the line tube amp. It's just not something that you know, most people can do on a whim. So you know, that's my thing is with this channel, is I don't want to lose track of what normal everyday people have to spend, what's, you know, realistic for them. So I'm trying to show instruments that they can pick up and fix up, make a lot better, improve the quality of, with a little bit of know-how and little bit of nous. And that's the idea of this channel. And even though I do appreciate all of the great reviewers, and they know their stuff, they're all really you know, knowledgeable people, and I enjoy watching them. You know, I want to stay a bit closer to the ground as far as you know, what most people can afford. So just a little explanation and a bit of insight from somebody that's been in the business, that's trying to you know, gives information on a regular basis about musical instruments and gear that is affordable, fixer-uppable, available, rather than you know, sort of a fetishized channel about you know, dream gear. So that's what I'm about today, and next time I'll have more instruments for you. See you then.